Forget everything you learned in history class. Forget the story of countless slaves dragging limestone blocks under the desert sun. Forget the idea of primitive tools and brute force. For over a century, we've been told a simple story about the Great Pyramids of Giza, a story of powerful pharaohs and their monumental tombs. But what if that story is wrong? In the last few years, new technology has allowed us to see beneath the Giza plateau for the very first time. Researchers like physicist Filippo Biondi are using advanced ground-penetrating radar and LiDAR scans to peel back the layers of sand and time. And what they are finding is shattering a century of academic dogma. There is a hidden world under the sand, and it suggests the pyramids were not what we were told. They were something far more complex, far more powerful, and the evidence has been right under our feet the entire time. The central question is no longer if the mainstream story is wrong, but by how much. If the Great Pyramid wasn't a tomb for a pharaoh, then what was it? And why is there such fierce resistance from some corners of academia to even ask the question? For decades, researchers like Graham Hancock have been treated as heretics for pointing out the obvious flaws in the accepted narrative. They've been dismissed by the establishment, yet championed on the world's biggest platforms for asking simple questions that have no simple answers. How could a Bronze Age culture, with copper chisels and stone hammers, quarry, transport, and lift millions of multi-ton blocks with a precision we would struggle to replicate today? How could they align this colossal structure to true north with an accuracy of within 3/60ths of a single degree? And if they had this incredible knowledge, where did it go? This video will explore the evidence the history books leave out. The evidence of impossible engineering, the radical theory of a lost power source, and the damning new data that the gatekeepers of history are struggling to ignore. To understand the mystery, we first have to appreciate the scale of the miracle. The Great Pyramid of Giza is composed of an estimated 2.3 million stone blocks, ranging in weight from 2.5 to a staggering 80 tons. The largest of these, the granite beams forming the roof of the king's chamber, were quarried from Aswan, over 500 miles away. The official story asks us to believe this was all done with simple tools, but granite is one of the hardest stones on Earth. Modern experiments have shown that the bronze and copper tools of the Old Kingdom are woefully inadequate for cutting it, let alone carving it with the precision found in the pyramid. The deeper you look, the bigger the problem gets. The structure is aligned to true north with an accuracy that is, frankly, unbelievable. It is more accurate than any other structure on the planet, including the Meridian building at the Greenwich Observatory in London, which was built in the 19th century with modern equipment. How did the ancient Egyptians achieve this? To find true north with such precision requires a sophisticated understanding of astronomy, longitude, and the true shape of the Earth, knowledge they supposedly did not possess. The anomalies continue. The Great Pyramid is not a four-sided structure. It is a subtle, eight-sided pyramid, a feature so faint it can only be seen from the air at dawn and dusk on the spring and autumn equinoxes. Why? Furthermore, the very dimensions of the pyramid seem to encode fundamental mathematical constants. If you take the height of the pyramid and multiply it by 2 pi, you get its perimeter. Its proportions also reflect phi, the golden ratio. Are these all just cosmic coincidences? Or are they the deliberate signature of a highly advanced intelligence? So, if the evidence against the primitive construction theory is so overwhelming, Why isn't it being discussed in every museum and university? This is where the story takes a darker turn, into the world of academic dogma and the so-called gatekeepers of history. For decades, the field of Egyptology has been dominated by a handful of powerful figures who have built their careers on the established narrative. The narrative is simple and clean. The pyramids were tombs for the pharaohs. Period. Any evidence that contradicts this narrative is either ignored, dismissed, or ridiculed. The king's chamber, for example. It was found completely empty. No mummy, no treasure, no inscriptions marking it as a burial. The granite sarcophagus inside is oversized, crudely finished, and has no lid. It looks more like an industrial container than a royal coffin. Yet, to this day, it is presented as a sarcophagus in a tomb. When new, inconvenient discoveries are made, a pattern emerges. The findings are either suppressed, access to the sites is restricted, or the data is explained away with contorted logic to fit the existing theory. Researchers who challenge the dogma are labeled as pseudoscientists and amateurs. But as Graham Hancock argues, the real pseudoscience is refusing to question a theory when it is no longer supported by the evidence. The gatekeepers aren't protecting history, they're protecting their own legacy. But they can't hold back the flood of new data forever. If the Great Pyramid wasn't a tomb, then what was it? One of the most compelling and radical alternative theories proposes that it was a machine, a power plant, a sophisticated device designed to harness the natural energies of the Earth and transmit them as wireless power. This theory, championed by engineers like Christopher Dunn, re-examines the pyramid not as a pile of stones, but as a piece of precision technology. The theory suggests the pyramid's materials were chosen for their specific physical properties. The inner chambers and passages are largely made of granite, which is rich in quartz crystal, a piezoelectric material that converts mechanical stress into electricity. The main body is made of limestone, which acts as an insulator. The theory posits that seismic vibrations from the Earth were harnessed and amplified by the pyramid's structure, causing the quartz-rich granite to vibrate and generate energy. It gets more detailed. The so-called Queen's Chamber may have been a reaction chamber where hydrated zinc and hydrochloric acid were mixed to produce hydrogen gas. This hydrogen would have filled the upper chambers, including the magnificent Grand Gallery. The Grand Gallery, with its unique corbelled walls and resonant design, would have acted as a massive acoustic amplifier, converting the vibrations from the Earth into a powerful, low-frequency sound. This sound energy, combined with the piezoelectric effect in the granite, would have created a massive electrical field. The entire pyramid would have become a coupled oscillator, vibrating in sympathy with the Earth itself, generating and transmitting enormous amounts of clean, wireless energy. A tomb, or a power plant, built with a level of physics we are only just beginning to rediscover. For years, the power plant theory was just that, a fascinating theory. But now, hard data is emerging that gives it terrifying new credibility. This is where the work of researchers like Filippo Biondi comes in. Using muon-scan technology, a byproduct of particle physics, and advanced ground-penetrating radar, scientists are now able to non-invasively map what lies deep within and, crucially, beneath the pyramids. In 2017, the Scan Pyramids project announced a shocking discovery: a massive, previously unknown void, at least 30 meters long, located directly above the Grand Gallery. Its purpose is unknown. The gatekeepers were quick to downplay it, but they couldn't explain it. But it's the work of Biondi and others, focusing on what's under the plateau, that is even more world-changing. Their scans have revealed an extensive network of chambers and tunnels hundreds of feet below the surface. These are not small natural caves. They are vast, geometric, and appear to be part of an enormous, interconnected complex that dwarfs the pyramids themselves. Biondi's data suggests the existence of a massive underground structure, potentially kilometers in length. But the surface pyramids are merely the tip of the iceberg. This changes everything. The power plant theory requires a connection to the water table of the Nile to function as part of its energy harnessing circuit. The discovery of this vast subterranean complex, potentially connected to ancient aquifers, provides the missing link. The pyramids may not be standalone structures, but the visible, above-ground components of a much larger, much older subterranean machine. The evidence is no longer just in the speculative pages of books. It's in the peer-reviewed data of physicists. It's in the LiDAR scans and the muon-scan readouts. A story is being told, not in hieroglyphs, but in gigabytes of data. A story of impossible precision, of a lost science, and of a hidden world buried beneath our feet. We are like children who have stumbled into the engine room of a forgotten technology, mistaking a supercomputer for a tombstone. The resistance to this new information is crumbling as the weight of the evidence becomes too heavy to ignore. The question is no longer if the mainstream story is wrong, but by how much? If the pyramids are part of a continental power grid, who built it? And for what purpose? What other secrets lie waiting, just beneath the sand to be rediscovered? The truth is coming, and it will change not only our understanding of the past, but our vision of the future. What do you think is the true purpose of the pyramids? Are we on the verge of rediscovering a lost technology? Or is there another explanation entirely? Let us know your theories in the comments below. And if you want to continue exploring the world's greatest unsolved mysteries, make sure to subscribe to the Darkumentaries and ring the notification bell. You won't want to miss what's coming next.